Hi there, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sarah Peternell. I'm the owner of Family Nutrition Services in Denver, Colorado, and I'm also the creator of the 30-day online program called Nourished and Renewed with Hashimoto's. So today, I'm recording this from my vehicle. I would like to share with you some information that I've recently been doing some research on for my clients, for myself, and just as it pertains to knowledge around more plant-based, herbal, natural, supportive remedies that exist for people with Hashimoto's. And today I'm going to be talking about cannabis. I have another video all about CBD oil and whether or not that's right for you if you have Hashimoto's. So you can check that video out as well. But today I'm actually going to be talking about a few specific properties about cannabis and how it may help some individuals who have Hashimoto's. The great thing is that recently we've gotten a lot more research and information on this subject. When I was first diagnosed with Hashimoto's, none of this information could be found on the internet. And in most states, even medical marijuana had not yet become legal. So my choices were pretty slim. Now, of course, for many people, maybe recreational marijuana is part of what you enjoy for relaxation or just kind of socializing with friends. Or maybe it's used in other ways to help with sleep or combating anxiety or even controlling pain. But there are actually some specific ways in which cannabis can help some of the autoimmune processes that may be affecting your thyroid. So, first of all, let's just talk about some of the symptoms, again, that are related to Hashimoto's, like fatigue, weight gain, muscle pain, depression and memory loss or brain fog. All of these things can, in some ways, be benefited by the use of cannabis. So again, we're talking about relief from some of these symptoms, and I really want to kind of stay focused on that. I don't profess to be a cannabis expert. In fact, I really try to stay in my lane with holistic nutrition, but I love to read the research because what we know is that there's a lot of powerful anti-inflammatory effects of a variety of different plant-based medicines. So I think it's important to also understand how cannabis as a plant may help or potentially maybe aggravate your condition, because I can tell you there is no one-size-fits-all approach. I don't need to go over all of the details about what Hashimoto's is and how it may affect you. That's information that, you can go check out some of my other videos about symptoms and maybe mood and other nutritional deficiencies or coexisting conditions for you to check out here on my YouTube channel. But what I do want to talk about is the limited research and also exciting new information on how cannabis can help. So marijuana, is rich in basically THC, It's tetrahydrocannabinol, tetrahydrocannabinol. That's kind of a mouthful. Let's just say THC. And we also know that marijuana is rich in those CBD, which are the cannabidiol oils. So there's kind of these two components, and CBD is available without THC. The first thing that I've been reading is that in some ways, CBD may be more effective and more beneficial with Hashimoto's when there is a minimal amount of THC present. The reason why is because THC has some abilities to act as an immunosuppressant, which I think is pretty cool. So obviously, if you're dealing with Hashimoto's, we know that it's basically the wonky immune system that's causing problems in your body and causing problems in your thyroid. So we don't want the overactive immune system to attack the body, and we kind of want to suppress the immune system just a little bit. So there are some studies that show that THC can suppress Th1 cells. And I'm going to post the links to these research in the pinned comments down below. So if you want to check them out on your own, you can. But basically, Th1 cells are the cells that are involved in the production of cytokines and immune system responses that are responsible for damaging tissue like your thyroid gland. So if in fact THC has some immunosuppressive properties and can inhibit Th1 cells, well, THC can potentially slow or stop the damage of your overactive, wonky immune system, which is pretty good news. Now, not all strains of cannabis or marijuana have the same amounts of THC or have the same kinds of properties. And in fact, the more I research, I find that all these different types of strains may do different things in terms of how they actually affect the immune system. So do your research, work with a qualified practitioner, speak to your doctor, and see if this might be a good approach for you. Also, research tells us that THC and CBD are both anti-inflammatory, and I talk about CBD for anti-inflammation in my other video. So together, when used together, this is how they may be potentially successful in lowering the inflammation that arises as a result of Hashimoto's disease. So inflammation, things like a fullness in your throat that you might feel because of inflamed tissue in the thyroid gland itself, inflammation elsewhere in your body like your digestive system, maybe your joints, muscles, skin, for example. These can all be places where inflammation can arise as a result of Hashimoto's. So I talked about the suppression of the Th1 cells. So in response to basically the suppression of the immune system, that happens to be what dampens cytokine production, slows immune system activity down, and also reduces the process of inflammation. So it's actually in the cascade that I'm talking about, suppress the immune system of Th1 cells and thereby downregulate inflammation. They're actually connected. All right, the next research article that I'm pulling up shows that, let's see, for some people, and if you've been reading like Datis Karazian, if you've been reading his research, his books, following his blog, checking in with his website, he talks a lot about the Th1 and Th2 mediated autoimmune process. Not all Hashimoto's is Th1 dominant. So in fact, if you know, because of maybe a test that you've taken with a functional medicine practitioner, or if you've done some of the poor man's tests, right, like trying certain foods or beverages like green tea, for example, and echinacea, some of those can be helpful in determining if it stimulates your immune system. If you know that you are Th1 dominant or Th2 dominant, that can be incredibly helpful, because if you have an overabundance of these Th2 cells, using cannabis, marijuana, may actually worsen your symptoms. That's because Th2 cells protect the body against toxins and bacteria. And so we don't actually want to overstimulate the Th2 cells either. That can cause those Th2 dominant cases of Hashimoto's to go a little bit crazy. Let's see. So, okay, I'm pulling up another research study here. Again, because I want to point out that cannabis and marijuana is really not for every single person. One research study actually suggests that CBD can increase activity of both Th1 and Th2, which would mean that if you are already having a wonky and unbalanced immune system, you might not feel better using a CBD product, whether it's oral or topical. And I've actually worked with quite a few clients who've told me that when they began a regimen of CBD encapsulated, like in an oil base, coconut oil base, with some of these great products that are out there, that they actually felt even their anxiety worsen, as well as some other symptoms. So you do want to be careful. There are studies that say that cannabis can help with pain, and this is not just obviously in Hashimoto's. This is in a variety of different chronic illnesses. We do know that THC is a decent choice for many people undergoing chemotherapy, other individuals who have chronic conditions, chronic pain conditions, fibromyalgia, also chronic fatigue, and lupus. I've read some studies about cannabis for lupus. So it's important to know that, Hashimoto's is just one silo of an illness with information where we're starting to get some more information. But let's see, this is a study from a while ago where 81% of respondents in the studies reported that cannabis alone was more effective at easing pain than opioids. This is fascinating, especially given the opioid crisis in our country. Anything we can do to look towards more natural medicines, plant-based medicine, fewer side effects, fewer addictive properties, and potentially better outcomes is a great thing. So I'm going to conclude today's video. It's a little bit shorter than some of my other videos because what I want you to do is to open your mind to the possibilities. You've watched my videos about herbs, about mushrooms, about vitamins and minerals, about lifestyle, about foods. So many of the things that can help improve your quality of life if you have Hashimoto's. There is no one-size-fits-all approach. And if you are looking for maybe sort of that, like, I'm at the end of my road, right, with whatever your particular symptom may be, and you've already filled your toolbox with lots of great resources, maybe it's time to take a look at working with a qualified cannabis practitioner, who those exist, who can help you with choosing the right strain, the way to consume it, right? I don't recommend smoking cannabis if you have Hashimoto's because the smoke inhalation can be damaging and toxic, which we don't want to do. We don't want to include any more toxins in our life. So there's other ways to do tinctures, oils, edibles, etc., and to find the one that works for you. It's one of my goals in 2021 to learn more about this potent medicine and the ways in which it can help not just with the quality of life, but also to help in improving that autoimmune process that takes place in the body when a person has Hashimoto's. So thanks so much for checking out today's video. And please stay tuned because I'm always coming back with more stuff that I'm learning and sharing with you guys. I've been in this business for a long time and I'm just tickled that, this is an area where we can never know too much. So thanks for joining me. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and sharing this video if you think it's helpful. And I'll be back for more. Bye.